The pursuit of knowledge begins here. Welcome to Inquisitio. We live surrounded by screens, apps, and technology. And yet, the truth is that nothing around you is as modern as it seems. Some of the objects you use every single day were invented in a time when sleeping was dangerous, when seeing your own reflection felt almost mystical, and when survival depended on the smallest details. These inventions were not created for comfort. They were born from necessity, from protection, from survival. And even after thousands of years, no one has truly managed to replace them. Today, you're about to discover objects so ancient they were already in use when the world itself was still learning how to be a world. And when you reach the last one, you will never look at it the same way again. Mirrors. When did humans see themselves for the first time? The mirror is not a modern invention. Before mirrors existed, humans only knew their own faces through still water. The earliest known mirrors appeared around 6000 BC among the peoples of Anatolia, also known as Asia Minor, a vast peninsula in Western Asia that today makes up most of Turkey. These mirrors were made of obsidian, a volcanic stone carefully polished until it produced a reflective surface. In ancient Egypt, mirrors were crafted from bronze and regarded as sacred objects, closely associated with the goddess Hathor, a symbol of beauty. It was believed that a mirror reflected not only the body, but also the soul. Mirrors were so valuable they were buried alongside the dead, meant to accompany them into the afterlife. So yes, when you look into a mirror today, you are repeating a ritual that is more than 8,000 years old. Spoons, the first eating technology. Spoons emerged when humans began cooking liquids. The earliest known spoons are over 4,000 years old, discovered in Egyptian tombs. They were made of ivory, wood, or stone, and they were deeply personal objects, often carried into the afterlife. In ancient Egypt, some spoons were shaped like gods, symbols of protection and fertility. No one shared their spoon. The spoon fundamentally shaped cuisine as we know it. Without it, soups and broths would never have become widespread. The fork is relatively new, but the spoon is practically a relic of humanity. Soap, the first weapon against disease. The oldest records of a soap-like substance date back to around 2800 BC, found in Mesopotamia. The Babylonians already mixed animal fat and ashes to clean fabrics and skin. In Sumer, tablets from 2500 BC describe a paste made of water, alkali, and cassia oil used to wash wool and textiles, not for personal hygiene. The Ebers Papyrus, dating to around 1550 BC, reveals that Egyptians mixed animal and vegetable oils with alkaline salts to create products used for bathing and treating skin diseases. By 600 BC, the Phoenicians had spread soap throughout the Mediterranean. In other words, washing your hands is a habit older than calendars, older than clocks, and even older than modern alphabets. Buttons, luxury that became necessity. Today, a button seems simple, but the first buttons appeared more than 5,000 years ago. Around 2500 BC, in the Indus Valley Civilization, modern-day India and Pakistan, buttons were made from shells, precious stones, and bones. And here's the surprising part. They were not used to fasten clothing. They were purely decorative, symbols of status and wealth. For centuries, clothes were held together with cords, pins, or ties. Only much later, in medieval Europe, did someone realize that aligning buttons along garments made clothing tighter and better at protecting against the cold. That's when buttons began to be used the way we use them today, which means you get dressed using a technology older than the Roman Colosseum. Shoes, the body's first shield. The oldest pair of shoes ever discovered is over 5,500 years old, found in a cave in Armenia. They were made of leather, stitched together, and surprisingly similar to modern designs. Before that, many cultures wrapped their feet in animal skins. But this Armenian shoe already had a sole, stitching, and an anatomical shape. It marks the moment when humans deliberately modified the body's tools to survive more effectively. Which means your modern sneakers have a direct ancestor from the Stone Age. Dice. The game that challenges fate. Games of chance have existed for at least 5,000 years. The earliest dice were made from animal bones. They were used not only for games, but to predict the future. In many cultures, throwing dice was a way of consulting the gods. Romans, Egyptians, and Chinese were gambling with dice long before casinos ever existed. Even today, many people still do this. They just call it luck. Combs. Hygiene before medicine. The earliest hair combs appeared across several ancient civilizations. The oldest evidence dates back to around 8000 BC in Syria and 5000 BC in Egypt and China. They were made from animal bones, wood, and ivory. In Egyptian and Chinese cultures, combs were often decorated with carvings of animals, gods, or hieroglyphs. Owning an ornate comb was a symbol of social status and wealth. Over time, materials and designs evolved. The Romans even reduced their size, so combs could be carried in a pocket. But combs weren't just for appearance. They were primarily used to remove lice. Before science, prevention was empirical. Combs were tools of survival. Lice carried diseases that could be fatal. Caring for your hair was literally caring for your life. Pillows. When protecting sleep meant survival. Do you think pillows were always soft? They weren't. Sleeping has always been dangerous. Insects, snakes, spiders, and disease were constant threats. The first pillows appeared in Mesopotamia and Egypt around 7000 BC. They were made of stone. Yes, stone. Their purpose was simple: to keep the head elevated and prevent insects from crawling into the ears during sleep. Egyptian pharaohs also used stone pillows, believing they protected the spirit and preserved vital energy during the night. Comfortable sleep is a modern idea, but sleeping with a pillow is over 9,000 years old. So the next time you fasten a button, pick up a spoon, look into a mirror, or rest your head on a pillow, remember this: you are using inventions that have survived empires, wars, kings, pharaohs, and millennia. Technology changes, but human ideas are far older than we imagine. If you enjoyed these curiosities, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Which of these objects surprised you the most? Because in the next video, there are things even older than you imagine. See you in the next video.